it's 7:35.
It is.
Want to do some views?
Andy's been in touch. Morning, Andy. Says, I work for a surgery and all GPs only attend 3 days a week with reduced hours. And Isabel says, our practice is pretty good at being able to see a doctor. Unfortunately, we only have part-time GPs which come and go. It now seems they're earning enough money to only need to work part-time.
Wow. There was a chart of places to live that, good or bad, to get access to your GP, and Milton Keynes didn't come off well.
Didn't it?
But you do all right, don't you?
Yeah. I do all right.
You're not queue jumping, are you?
I'm not queue jumping, but I am a type 1 diabetic.
Yeah.
And therefore you do get some priority access, which is very useful. But I mean, if there's something goes wrong, you need to be seen very quickly. So I mean, it's just the way it works out. As you can tell, Liz Kershaw's here to take us through the papers, along with the deputy editor of The Spectator, Freddie Gray. Morning to you both. And Liz, we'll start with the Mirror, should we? And this £200,000 reward for anyone with information leading to the conviction of the murderer of Olivia Pratt-Corbell.
Yes, which happened in Liverpool a couple of weeks ago, and the headline is, if you can't find it in your heart to help catch Olivia's killer, how about £200,000? The police have been asking the community since the murder for leads, for information to help them catch the killer. It's a really difficult thing.
It's a gang, there's a lot of gang culture.
If you live in a place where the gangs rule, then it's very brave of you to put your head above the parapet and give information to the police. You're risking your own life, you're risking having to be relocated, take on a new identity, not only uproot yourself, but your children who might be in school, your whole family and all your connections. It's a really big thing to do. I've had experience of this, and the fear, not to that degree, but and this ties in with the stabbing outside school of a lad in Huddersfield yesterday. My son, when he was in sixth form, was having a crafty fag at break time with his mates on the village green right outside of school in a nice leafy county, and a car full of lads in their 20s, men in their 20s, drug dealers, came along, wrongly identified one of the group as owing him money, and stabbed him to death in front of my son and his friends. He bled. And my son and his friends, who were 17 at the time, had to go to court and give evidence, albeit behind a curtain, but their names and everything were read out. And then one of the four got 17 years, but he didn't serve all that, obviously. But the kids who'd given evidence were known throughout the community and were terrified, and the police never bothered to inform us when this person had been released. All the others who served shorter sentences, and it was always hanging over us. So I can totally understand. It's a terrible thing that's happened to our life in our cities.
It is awful.
Freddie, we were just discussing fracking with some guests, and it is a big day for fracking in the UK. We are expecting that moratorium to be lifted. The Guardian say, though, it's not going to work. What are they saying?
Well, the Guardian are very pleased with this. I think they think it's one in the eye for Team Truss. They have the founder of Quadrilla, which is a major player in the fracking industry, saying that it's not the solution. It's not going to work. I mean, I think that there's some truth in this. It isn't a quick fix. Everybody knows it's not a quick fix. But I think it's widely accepted by rational people that fracking is a sensible thing to do for Britain. And so, therefore, just sort of scoring points on this is not necessarily in everyone's interest. And I think, maybe it's time to stop the objections on health and safety and so on, because they don't really amount to much. And let's just get it rolling. If we'd done it 10 years ago, we wouldn't be in the position we're in today.
Do we need to ask why the founder of Quadrilla, who's not now with Quadrilla, is making arguments against a project which is being run by Quadrilla?
Well, it feels like there's a bit of politics going on behind
Doesn't it just?
And certainly the Guardian are excited to do it because they desperately want to get in the way of Truss's agenda. And we'll see a lot more of this. We'll see a lot more of this in the coming months.
We will. Let's talk money, Liz. In the Sun, Mr. David Beckham, about to earn a fortune.
Well, he already has been paid
£10
million for being an ambassador for the Qatari World Cup. and he's now going to receive a 7-figure sum from Doritos, who are hoping that when you sit on your sofa watching the matches, these top athletes giving all they've got, and soaring temperatures, you're going to be filling your face with their snacks. I just want, and you were talking about Harry Kane and his armband or multi. I mean, good for him. He's recognising that, you know, women in Qatar have no rights. If you're homosexual, you can be imprisoned for 7 years. And I would draw attention to the fact, and it's been reported and documented, every time you sit in one of those stadia or you're watching it at home, there's blood on those bricks. Because the number of migrant workers, almost slave workers, that Qatar brought in to do all the infrastructure for the World Cup, they were working in 50-degree temperatures, midday, lot of deaths. And you know, the whole thing is just unsavoury to me. And that's not a stab at Doritos, don't like them anyway, but I just think we've all got to have a conscience about this. How they got the games in the first place, I wonder.
Wow, that's another story.
I think Beckham's PR guy deserves a raise after last week's queuing masterstroke. I don't want to sound cynical. I mean, I'm sure he did want to.
That is cynical. That is really cynical, actually.
I am terribly cynical these days, being a journalist for too long.
He just got spotted doing what he wanted to do.
I think it was quite nicely spun. And I think, you know, let's give him some of that money. The PR guys need to be paid too.
Perhaps Holly and Phil need to hire his PR people, don't they? Because, I mean, he's not been on the front of all the tabloids being lambasted for taking millions for going to Qatar.
They got the raw end of the deal. I never thought I'd feel that sorry for.
I don't feel sorry for Philip Schofield. No, not.
Do you not?
Second of it, no.
I think it's been a bit of a
disgraceful.
bandwagon. Freddie, you've chosen another story from The Guardian this morning.
I know, I'm sorry, I'm really picking on The Guardian this morning. It's annoying me today. This is a story that most people back woke liberal views, which is very odd. Most people back. The Guardian has discovered. Yeah, it's the perfect story for The Guardian. But it shows the real sort of confusion about what woke is. And I mean, for The Guardian, it means just being liberal and sort of not being racist. And so part of the story is that most British people think you don't have to be born in Britain to be British, which they think is a sort of sign that people are pro-woke. But that's not what people think about when they think about woke. They think about, you know, cancel culture or, you know, transgender losing schools and things like that. So I think it just shows the way in which The Guardian sees the world is very different to the way most people see the world, and they think they're in the right and that woke is good. Most people don't see it that way.
Well,
you're
very woke, Liz Kirk. I've always said.
I am actually very liberal in my views, some views, but watching from abroad as the mourning period unfolded, and just kept in touch with one English-speaking channel on our telly in our flat in Mallorca, and it was BBC One, and it was all the Q&A.
Thanks very much, dude.
And what it showed to me, I'm watching the funeral on Monday, which was impeccable. I just thought, this just shows that the majority of people in this country are conservative with a small c, in that they really value our traditions, our institutions. They value British values. They value what the Queen stood for. And I found it very heartwarming and very uplifting for the future, because if you read the papers, you get the impression that our society's falling apart, our country's.
You would have found it even more heartwarming to watch GBNEWS on YouTube, because I was in Windsor for 13 hours.
I tried, and it just kept rolling round and stopping.
So you didn't have a decent internet connection?
Didn't have a decent. I did try. Mallorca.
Oh, well, there you go.
Well, I could have had if I'd paid an extra £2.50 a day, but
cost of living crisis and all that. Liz Kershaw, Freddie Gray, thank you so much. You'll be back with us for one more romp through the papers just after 8:30.
Romp?
Forward to it. Yeah, romp through the papers. Why not?
You're not having a romp through the papers, Liz Kershaw. I mean, I have enough trouble with her as it is.